afternoon, guys. My name's Stewart Lofts. I'm the sales product specialist manager here at BMPRO, based in Knoxfield, Victoria. Look, we'll just cover off a little bit on the BMPRO product itself. So a lot of the caravan manufacturers here use us as a preferred product in a lot of the new vans. So we have our Battery Plus 35HA, which is one of the most common units you will see out there in the vans as you're wandering around. It is a 30 amp charger with a solar input and DC input also for your auxiliary charge coming in. The solar controller that's in this unit is a 30 amp unit. So, you know, whether you're charging AGMs or lithium batteries, it's quite suitable to go up to as high as 600 amp hour of battery when selecting your van in your system. So that is a very, very quick overview of the HA. It is 1 to 14 outputs for power, for running your fridges, as we were talking a bit earlier about running the fridges. So, yep, running fridges, lighting, anything that's 12 volt, water pumps, is all managed through our Battery Plus system. We then have our BMPRO system, which is basically a stepbrother or sister to the HA. So again, it's got 14 outputs for our DC power needs. So whether that be water pumps, lighting, etc. on that sort of stuff as well. So with our systems, you can then go through and upgrade those systems if you wish to be able to charge off the car and things like that. And we might ask, why is that important to be able to charge off our tow vehicle while we're driving through to our caravan, because our units are AC power? Well, we may be off-grid campers, a lot of us, and we may want to be able to sit down and charge while we're driving, or even from the solar itself. So the DC to DC input, you can simply wire in the likes of our Mini Boost, and our Mini Boost is a 20 amp DC to DC charger. Again, it will complement either of your systems that you're deciding to go for to give you a proper DC to DC charge, to ensure that basically when you're pulling up of a night time that your batteries are full, or if you've been driving at night, vice versa, you haven't got any solar. So that is what we're there looking at there. Now, we have our new DC-DC system into the range, which is our Pro Boost 25 and our Pro Boost 40. It is to step away from the likes of our Mini Boost Pro, which has been really good as a canopy setup if someone is doing a full drive canopy, or to complement again the Battery Plus and BMPRO and J35 systems. But the Pro Boost range, which is in the 25 and the 40, is designed to be a full standalone system. So you don't need to have a full battery management system in your van. So for you guys that were inquiring about running battery systems, this would be the one for you. Where you're talking about, we want to be able to have a dual battery system either in the vehicle, in the back of the vehicle, or even in the caravan, but we don't want to go to the expense of putting in a full dual battery system that would normally live in the engine bay and normally cost a few $1,000s to fit. So something like the Pro Boost can be mounted on top of a battery box or behind a seat on a parcel shelf or something like that, and is very simply wired in. We've got positive and negative off our crank battery to the unit, positive and negative out to the auxiliary battery, which would either be in a battery box or a toolbox or something of that nature. It has built-in MPPT solar controller built into it. So for your solar panel needs, are you running solar at the moment? Yep, so you can either run portable solar straight to this guy if you wish to, via Anderson plug connection or other forms of connection. So that would be something that you would want to look at on your own setup. It's just how you go about doing that setup, whether you're going to put it in a box or however you intend to do it. Both units will need to be fused, whether you go for the 25 or the 40. Coming in, so 60 amp, up to a 60 amp fuse on the 40 or up to a 40 amp fuse on the 25. With those as well, they will do all your main battery types. So that'll do your standard starting style battery or lead acid battery, your AGMs, your calciums, which are a higher charge rate, and your gels, and of course everyone's flavour of the month, lithium. So no issue of charging any of those battery types, so especially for lithium. So have you guys got any questions on that while we're sort of discussing it? So basically, you can charge, if you're looking at lithium batteries, most lithium batteries will have a maximum charge rate and then a recommended charge rate. So if you have a look at the battery that you're looking to purchase, you will see on that battery it'll say maximum charge rate of, we'll call it 100 amps for the sake of the exercise, and the recommended charge rate may be down at 40 amps. So that's when you'd look and go, is a 40, it's right on the cusp, probably a little bit too high for our battery choice. So we'll just drop it down and we'll go for something like 25. And why would we do that? Well, it's a bit like driving our car down the street. We're not going to go flat out in 6th gear everywhere at 200k an hour. We're eventually going to do damage to the vehicle. Same with our batteries. We run them flat out all the time. We're going to end up shortening its life. And that's regardless of battery chemistry. So, yep, something like that, depending on what you're after. Possibly it doesn't need to be as big as 40, big as a 60, but 25 might be your choice, depending on what sort of battery you're looking at. So that's a fully sealed unit that's available, IP65, so that can be mounted in the engine bay, in the back of the canopy, on the toolbox, anywhere like that, fully sealed. We then have our Australian-made unit, which is our Mini Boost Pro, which we've designed and manufactured in Knoxfield. It is not, it has an IP20 rating, so it's not designed for under bonnet use or exposed to the weather, but if you're going to be putting it in the back of a four-wheel drive, that might be the other option for you. It is a maximum of 30 amp combined charge with your solar coming in. So that's panels and car working together to a maximum of 30 amps. Other than that, it will charge at a constant 22 amps, providing that the wiring from the tow vehicle back is heavy enough. So that all depends on voltage drop calculations. So there's no special number where we can go, oh, you've got to run the 6mm cable from the engine bay to the back and she'll be right, mate. Unfortunately, no, we need to do voltage drop calculations to work out what size wire we actually need to, before we can go and start running it, because you want to optimise your charge rate. So smaller wire, smaller power getting through, resistance to the cable. So any questions? No. So we'll move on. So we've got a few other things we can cover off on as well, other than our DC to DCs. We do bring out a range of 240 volt chargers as well. So this one here, I've brought out the BC15. We bring in the BC25. They're designed to work as a workshop style charger or a basic power supply setup. So if someone's doing up a basic trailer or that sort of thing, absolutely ideal for putting this in. It's not fully sealed, so it will have to go into a sealed box, but it can be used in conjunction into a canopy setup if someone's wanting to do that with a dual battery system, plus complement it with AC when you're at the caravan park, or off generator power to top it up. You do have that option with this guy. So fully selectable, we can charge anything from motorcycle battery right through to a bank of batteries. So battery selection on the front of the unit, we can do anything from our AGM batteries, our gel batteries, calcium, and right through to our lithium settings on that unit. So that is a 240 volt charger that is available, just getting away from the DC-DCs. Then we move into our Pro Smart range, which is also quite a good product for when we're running, again, to complement off a system that we may have built, or we want to bring a retro caravan up to something similar to what you would find in a new age caravan, with the tyre pressure monitoring, water tank monitoring, things you may not have in an older style Caravan. So this can be simply retrofitted. The tyre pressures will simply screw onto a standard valve stem, and our temperature sensors can either be velcroed in place inside a fridge or freezer section as well. But it'll allow you to monitor up to 40 sensors, including gas bottles as well, and up to 4 water tanks, which are hardwired, not wireless unfortunately, but yep. So we have our Pro Smart starter in that setup. Then we move into our premium, up to our premium pack, which is including your 4 tyre pressure sensors, 2 gas bottle monitors, and 2 temp sensors for the fridge as well. So yeah, bit of an overview of the 12 volt systems there. All right, guys, I think that wraps it up. Too easy. Thank you.
Before we go on holiday,
we like to go on holiday to the Victorian Caravan Camping and Touring Supershow for the latest and greatest of everything.
let's get going.
Melbourne Showgrounds, February 22 to 26. Tickets online, proudly partnered by Truma.